Yo, good morning, Hustle Nation. Today we're talking tax saving tips for W-2 wage earners and small business owners alike, how to legally avoid taxes, what you need to know based on the work of the great Sandy Botkin, attorney and former trainer for IRS auditors. And then for those of you who are already in business, if you stick around to the end of the show, we're going to give you 9 tips to help you avoid the dreaded audit. So do me a favor, go ahead and comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand. We'd love to give you a free business shout out. Just do not share any links. But speaking of share, smash that share button to share this episode with those on your timeline, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities, and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally, or I've learned from, or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, Ultimate Hustlers, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from myperfectmoneyplan.com. And I am on a mission, man, to empower our community economically through financial literacy with an emphasis on entrepreneurship and personal brand development. If you have not already, make sure you comment in the chat the name of your business and or your brand. And I got to shout out the sponsor, myperfectmoneyplan.com. If you are looking for a way to save money, add an extra stream of income to your household, and then grow your money for retirement, then you must, it's an absolute must that you check out myperfectmoneyplan.com. We've got all the strategies for building wealth that you will ever need. Do me a favor, man, keep this in mind. When you comment your biggest takeaway from today's show, use the phrase takeaway, then give me your biggest takeaway, and I'm going to enter you into a drawing to win a free vacation. And we do our drawings on Wednesday. So today at noon, somebody is going to win another free vacation. So comment your takeaway. And it doesn't have to be at the end of the show. Whenever you hear something that hits you, just put takeaway and then give me your takeaway for the day. And you get entered into a drawing. A couple quick announcements before we get into these tax saving tips for W-2 wage earners, how to legally avoid taxes for employees as well as small business owners, what you need to know based on the work of Sandy Botkin. Get into this little brochure. It's not a brochure, it's actually a guide, 7 simple ways to legally avoid paying taxes. We're going to dive all the way in. But before we do that, Hustle Nation, if you have not already chosen to support this show by joining Hustle Nation $5 a month. You use the Facebook link in the comments to subscribe to the Facebook page, $5 a month, and you join our private community called Hustle Nation. That's how you support me and this show so that I can keep doing this work and bringing financial education to the people. And for those of you who subscribe to Hustle Nation, you're going to get a special invitation to a private workshop where I'm going to be teaching how to get double-digit returns on your money, right? We found some mutual funds that are kicking out 14, 15, 16% and have been for the last 40 years. What would your money be like if you were in some of these funds where you were getting 14, 15, 16% for the last 20 or 30 years? So you got to subscribe to Hustle Nation to get that private invite. And all you got to do is click on the link where it says subscribe on the Facebook page. If you're not watching on Facebook, then I'm going to put that link in all of the show notes on Instagram, on YouTube, on the different podcasting platforms as well. We also have our live session for the Digital Product Bootcamp coming up this Tuesday, April 6th. If you've been trying to figure out how to turn your gifts, talent, special abilities into a digital product that you can build a brand around, ebook, courses, that kind of stuff, for $47, I do a live training every month called the Digital Product Bootcamp. In addition to the live training on where I show you 9 different ways to turn your gifts, your knowledge into digital products, you also get 2 courses. You get how to launch your coaching business course, and you get the personal branding blueprint course, as well, of course, as the replay of our previous workshop. So $47. Not only do you get those 2 courses, but of course, you join us live next Tuesday, April 6th, 7 p.m. for $47. I'm going to show you how to create digital products based on something that you already know, something that you're already passionate about. And then, of course, we've got our vacation giveaway this afternoon at noon for those of you who have commented on previous episodes, your biggest takeaways. And of course, if you comment today, and every day you comment, you actually get entered into the drawing. So you can have multiple entries in the drawing if you hang out with us and participate on the show frequently. So we love to start the show with a quote of the day. And today's quote of the day goes something like this: staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on the hard days, you know better ones are coming. And that's from an unknown source. Staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on the hard days, you know better ones are coming. There is so much power in optimism, ladies and gentlemen. Do not get caught up in being pessimistic. Do not get caught up in counting the negative things in your life when there's so many positive things to be appreciative of and grateful for and thankful for. And when you walk in the attitude of gratitude, you just start seeing all the blessings that are around you. And that keeps you encouraged. That keeps you lifted up. That keeps your spirit on high. That keeps you open to receive and notice opportunities all around you. However, if you go the other route and you're always looking at the things that are negative, you're always looking at the things that are not so good. If you like the news, right? The news shows us 95% of the time, they're showing us 5% that's bad with the world. And if you are walking around in your life and you're looking at the 5% of the things in your life that didn't go your way, and you're neglecting the 95% that did, then you're going to continue to bring calamity into your life, because your perspective is your reality. How you see the world is how the world is to you. If you see it as negative, it's negative. If you see it as positive, rich, full with opportunities, full with laughter and joy and abundance, then that's the world that you will live in, my friend. That is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Monetize My Life Academy's Digital Product Bootcamp. Ladies and gentlemen, turn your knowledge into digital products. The digital product and info product world is going to be a $1 billion per day industry by 2025, according to Forbes. It's time for you to get in the game. Now, before we get into these tax saving tips, I got to give you my disclaimer, man. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not an enrolled agent. I'm not a tax attorney or any of that. But the person that we're studying today is Sandy Botkin, and he is a CPA and attorney and former trainer of IRS auditors. So be prepared to do your own research. I'm just going to open your eyes to some things that you should be researching, right? And don't forget, comment in the chat the name of your business and or your brand for that free business shout out. Looks like we have Dana Brooks in the building, Brooks Family Enterprises out of Maryland. Welcome to the stream, my sister. And tell us a little bit about what the family enterprise is about as well. You never know who might want to connect with you based on knowing a little bit about what it is that you do. So this little guide right here is seven ways to legally avoid paying taxes by Sandy Botkin's attorney, CPA, and former trainer of IRS auditors. He has long since retired from the IRS, and now all he does is teaches hardworking men and women like you and me how to leverage the #1 wealth building tool in the entire world, y'all. And that is the United States tax code, right? So I'm going to give you some examples and let's see. He starts this thing out saying that everybody needs a side business. Everybody needs a side business. Let me just start this way, because a lot of times people don't understand why wealthy people don't pay as much taxes than everybody else. Why do the business owners get the tax breaks and the employees don't? It is as simple as this, my friend. When you went to your job, was there a building for you to go to? Yes or yes? When you got inside the building and went to your station, was there a workstation already prepared for you? Yes or yes? If you were in sales and you got into selling, was there a telephone or an internet and computer already set up for you to reach out to your clients and call your prospective buyers? Absolutely. See, the reason that employees do not get the tax breaks is because, I hope I can say this and we can still be friends, right? The reason employees don't get the tax breaks is because employees don't bring nothing to the table. Now, I'm gonna let y'all digest that for a second because it's hard to hear. What do you mean, Cortez? We don't bring anything to the table. I'm bringing my talents. I'm bringing my blood, my sweat, my tears. I'm bringing my intellect. Yeah, man. You're bringing all of that stuff to something that already exists, right? So the government says, listen, we can give tax breaks. We just can't give them to everybody. So who are we going to choose to give the tax breaks to? Am I going to give it to the employee who brings nothing to the table? Or am I going to reward the person who is creating opportunities by way of jobs and ways for people to make money? They are contributing to the gross domestic product of this country. Am I going to give the tax breaks to the laborer, or I'm going to give the tax breaks to the person that is creating the opportunities for the laborers to have a job? So they create and give the tax breaks to those who are creating the jobs. Now, I've been on this kick for the last month or so. Everybody born in America is born a business owner. See, when they set this whole thing up in America, they set it up so that everybody is their own entrepreneur. Now, you have a choice to use your EIN number and do business as a sole proprietor or create a separate entity or whatever. If you do not use your EIN number as a sole proprietor, then that same number doubles as a Social Security number. Now you're using that as a number to be taxed on everything that you make. And as an employee, you're taxed off the top. So the penalty that you pay for not doing business in this economy is high taxes. This is why Sandy Botkin says everyone needs a side business. Times have changed, and having a good job just doesn't cut it these days if you want to retire. Smart people almost always invest their time and money in building something that can grow into something bigger. Hopefully, by the time you make it through this first chapter of this book, you'll realize that even if you have a day job, you can invest some of the taxes that are withheld from your paycheck to grow a business, especially under the new tax laws. What you have to understand is that there are two tax systems in America. Number one, there is one for business owners and entrepreneurs, and one for people with regular jobs. Now, don't get it twisted, y'all. I fully understand why 95% of Americans make 100% of their income through a job, because we're socially conditioned to. We went through a school system that told us the best and most safe thing for us to do is to get educated so that we can land a good job, and that's going to create security in our lives. Well, I've always been taught to follow the money. If we're going through a school system that produces employees, you got to say, why is that? Why don't our school system produce more entrepreneurs? And why does it seem that the people who are most successful in entrepreneurship actually went left and dropped out of school, or they didn't value school the same way that everybody else did? Well, follow the money. The money says that who funds our school system? It's corporations and the government. Okay, if that's where the school system gets its money from, where do those two entities get their money from? The government gets its money from taxing employees. Big business gets its money from leveraging the labor of employees. So now do you guys see? If you see that it makes sense, put "it makes sense" now. Put that in the comment. Now it makes sense. Oh, so that's why our school system pushes us down the road to get jobs, because their money depends on it. The more employees the school system makes, the more people the government can tax. The more employees the school system makes, the more employees can go out and labor for these big companies. Now, please don't get it twisted. This is not job bashing in the least. When I worked a full-time job, I worked at a big corporation, and I realized my duty that was given to me by God was to be a provider and a protector of my family. And one of the ways to do that was to go out and earn an income. So this is not job bashing, but I do want you to understand what you're signing up for if you work a job only. Now, you guys are going to see as we go throughout the rest of this show that the best position to be in is to work your job and have a legitimate side hustle. I'm not talking about the side hustle where you make money under the table, because believe it or not, most of us who have these side jobs, you might be a mechanic and you might do 15 brake jobs throughout the week. And you might get $60, $70 per brake job, and people are paying you cash. And you're thinking to yourself, hey, man, this is money I don't have to pay taxes on. I don't have to report this to the government. What if I told you that by not reporting that money, you're losing $10, $20, $30, $40,000 in tax deductions that could be a game changer for you and your family? I'm just saying. right? So the best position to be in this economy, that's why Sandy Botkin says everybody needs a side hustle. There's a tax system for business owners and there's a tax system for regular employees, right? Owning your own business, even if you run it part-time, can be the single best financial decision you can make. So why does the government give you these tax breaks for running your own business? It's simple. America is a land of opportunity, and small business is what is responsible for 70% of the growth of our economy. It also drives innovation. So we're going to get right into what makes you qualify to take advantage of the tax code right after we do 1 minute motivation. Right here on the Cortez Hustle Show every morning, I like to start you guys off with some powerful motivation. So we're going to get into 1 minute motivation. That's where I play a short 1 minute motivational clip. You guys comment one of your takeaways. Always put takeaway, then give me your comment. That's how my team knows to enter you into the drawing to win the free vacation. And then, of course, I'll give a couple of takeaways myself. So let's get into right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, 1 minute motivation.
We've all made wrong choices and done things that we knew were not the best. It's one thing when other people do us wrong. We had a bad break. It wasn't our fault. We can have faith that God will restore. He'll pay us back. But when we bring the trouble on ourselves, when we blow it, it's easy to live in regrets, thinking that God's not going to help us. We made the mess. But here's the beauty. God knew you would mess up before He called you. He knew we would get off course, at times give in to temptation. He didn't base His plan for your life on you making perfect decisions.
Through success, I represent the possibility of what you can achieve and what you can do with your life and your career. Other people's success represents the possibility of what you can do. Those are the records that you can sell. Those are the type of tours that you can do. Those are the kind of songs that you can produce and the songs that you can write. Those are the millions of dollars that you can get, or billions. Those are the type of architectural drawings and buildings that you can build. Those are the type of books that you can sell. Everybody else's success represents the possibility of what you could do.
Hoo-wee! I don't know about y'all, but that fired me up this morning. Comment one of your takeaways that you heard. One of the reasons I love doing this is because even though we all listen to the same clip, we all heard something different. And that's pretty powerful. But wrong choices, y'all, is what leads to growth. And growth is what ultimately leads to right choices, right? I want y'all to get that. Sometimes we fail to make a decision because we are scared it's going to be the wrong decision. And it very well could be, but it's in that wrong decision that leads to growth. And after you grow a little bit, you get to a place where you start making right decisions. So don't be afraid to decide because you're caught up in whether it's going to be right or wrong. Get in the habit of making the decisions. It's powerful. I don't know about you, but I'm so glad that God didn't base His plan on me making the perfect decision. William Brown is right there with me. He said, man, God knew I was going to make some mistakes and He still chose me, right? Man, I'm so glad that He did not base His plan on me making perfect decisions, because Lord knows I done made a ton of them. And then I believe that was Tyrese towards the end talking about basically, y'all, don't be a hater. Celebrate other people's success, right? When they came out with the news that Kanye West is now worth $6.6 billion, and I know it's in debate and all that kind of stuff, but I posted that on my timeline, and you guys will be surprised at the amount of hate that people have towards success. Let me tell you this real quick. You better be careful about who you despise when it comes to people who have success. Because if you despise successful people, your subconscious mind will never allow you to become that which you despise. So when you see somebody winning in business, in your industry, you see somebody wealthy and you secretly despise them, and then out of the other side of your mouth, you're talking about you're going to be rich one day, your subconscious mind is like, why would I let you become something you despise? Because if I let you become that, then a lot of people are going to despise and hate you. So many people were like, man, and what does that mean that he makes that money? You know what it means? It means that I can become worth $6 billion. Because the book I read tells me that I can do all things. And if any man has done it, any woman has done it, give me enough time and I know I can do it too. So I didn't see that as hate. I saw that as motivation, as inspiration. Then they would say things like, well, what good does it do for him to have all that money if he ain't giving back to the community? And it goes back to this for me. Well, I just need to know that it can be done. And instead of pointing my fingers at that brother and what he is or is not doing for our community, since he showed me that it can be done, how about I just put my head down, let me grind, go get $6.6 billion and do what I want to see done in my community and be the change, instead of talking about what another man is or is not doing with the money that that man or woman earned for themselves. So that was 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm super excited, as you guys can tell, about the Digital Product Bootcamp coming up. If you have not already registered and you're looking to figure out, oh, Cortez, I got a book in me, I just don't know how to get it out. Cortez, I already wrote a book. I would love to be able to turn this book into a course or a workshop. That's what the Digital Product Bootcamp is all about. All you got to do is click on the link in the description. Everything's going to be in the show notes. Click it and get yourself registered. $47. I'm going to show you 9 different ways to turn your knowledge, experience, expertise into digital products, right? So we're talking about tax saving tips for W-2 wage earners, how to legally avoid paying taxes according to Sandy Botkin's What You Need to Know. And if you stick around to the end, I'm also going to give you 9 ways to reduce your chances of being audited. So what does it take to qualify for tax deductions in this economic system that we are in? Listen, a lot of people got it twisted. Cortez, I did have a business last year, but I didn't make any money, so I didn't claim my tax deductions on my tax return this year. Listen, man. He says, in order for you to qualify for these tax deductions, you have to answer these questions. Did you start your business because you wanted to really make money? Right? When you went into business, was your intention to actually make a profit? It didn't say, did you make a profit? No, the IRS wants to know what your intention is. Did you intend to make a profit when you went into this business? Or did you start this business and you just thought it'd be something fun and cool to do something to pass the time? Now, if you intended to make a profit, you meet one of the qualifications. Number 2, are you willing to work on your business 45 minutes each day for at least 4 days a week? Oh, I don't think y'all got it, because the first thing you're going to tell me is, Cortez, I don't have time to run a side business or a side hustle. I don't have time. You don't got 45 minutes a day, 4 days a week to save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes when we know that taxes is your biggest expense? Most of us if we're not doing this, what's outlined in this book, are losing 50% of our income to taxes. 40 to 50%. You don't believe me? Let's run the numbers, right? If you're making any amount of money in this country, 30, 40, $50,000, you're in probably about the 25% tax bracket. Let's just say you're in a 20% tax bracket for kicks and giggles, right? You're in a 20% tax bracket. Chances are you live in a state that also has a state tax. That's another 7 to 9%. Let's just hit it right in the middle that your state tax is 7.99999, which is basically 8%. So now you got 20 federal, 8 state, now you at 28%. And let's say if you live in a city like New York, like LA, like St. Louis, you also have a local tax, 1 to 2%. Let's just say it's 1%. Now I'm at 29%. I'm at 29% of my income going to Uncle Sam from every dollar, right? And then don't forget about this. You got to pay another 7 to 9% on everything you buy. So I'll go from 29%, let's just say it's 8%. Now I'm at 37% of my money goes to taxes. Oh, what about those of us who own property, like a car, like a boat, like a motorcycle? You also have to pay personal property tax. Oh, and do you own real estate? Are you mortgaging a home? Then you got to pay real estate tax. 40, 45, 42, 45% of your money going to Uncle Sam? Oh, Lord forbid you are in one of the higher tax brackets. You make 7 figures or you made 6 figures on your job, but you bring home 70,000. 30,000 went to Uncle Sam. And you don't got time, 45 minutes a day, 4 days a week, to start a home-based business and do a little work in terms of tracking and what's required to save 10, 12, 15, 18, $25,000 in taxes every year. Oh man, y'all better get with the program. Get with the program. All right. So are you willing to work 45 minutes a day, 4 days a week? That's number 3. You gotta work consistently in your business, right? Regular and consistent. Then the number 3 thing, are you willing to keep a journal or a log of the things you are doing to try to grow your business? So let me get this straight. The number 1 wealth building tool in the entire world is the United States tax code. I cannot access it to benefit me if I work a job only. In fact, if I work a job only, it's actually killing me and my ability to build generational wealth. But according to this, Cortez, you're saying that if I were to just start a business that I'm willing to operate from my home part-time, 4 to 5 hours per week, and if I start that business with the intention to make a profit, and I am organized enough in this business to keep good records of my activity, what am I doing to try to make this profit? If I do those 3 things, I can now access the number 1 wealth building tool in the world. That's exactly what I'm telling you, my friend. It's exactly what I'm telling you. Let me show you an example of the types of savings that you could get, right? And then I'm going to go over 6 common tax deductions that can save you a boatload of money. So let me share my screen with you guys really, really quickly. And this is just an example. And I get that it's an oversimplification. Nevertheless, right? Why everybody needs a side business. There are 2 tax systems. We talked about that. One for employees, one for business owners. We're going to say that this is the adjusted gross income, right? $50,000. This person who works a job only has 0 tax deductions. So because they have 0 tax deductions, the amount of money they're going to be taxed on is $50,000. If they are in the 25% tax bracket, then they owe Uncle Sam $12,500. Simple enough, right? Now, let's look at the person who has a small home-based business. They're just working their business part-time. They also adjusted gross income, $50,000. Tax deductions of $10,000. Well, Cortez, where do the tax deductions come from? They come from the miles that they drive. They come from the expenses that they have trying to grow their business. Maybe they do a little marketing. Maybe they buy a program like the digital product Bootcamp, which is a tax deductible expense. Maybe they do a little travel. Maybe they go to a conference or two so they can learn their craft, right? $10,000 in tax deductions. So now they have to subtract the 10,000 from the 50. So the amount they're getting taxed on is $40,000. Now, taxes owed, 25% of 40,000 is 10,000. Tax cash savings, 2,500. 2,500. Now, let's go back to the requirement though, so that we get this. All I had to do, Cortez, to qualify to have a cash savings of $2,500 is start a business with an intention to make a profit. Work that business part-time, at least 45 minutes a day, 4 days a week. Then track all of the things that I'm doing to make money in that business. Yes. And if I had $10,000 in those tracked expenditures, that can be tax deductible. Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell y'all. So let's go over a couple of these deals really, really quickly. So we're going to hit a couple of these tax deductions real quick. Number one, vehicle deductions, right? Basically, that vehicle deduction is based on you using your car that you already have, that you already paid for, to do business. This is why a home-based business is so powerful, because it allows you to take the expenses that you already have a car. You don't have to start a business at a brick and mortar and then go buy another car. No, you started a business from your home and you use the car that you already have. And you can take that car and turn it into tax deductions, right? So the IRS method, there's two methods. The IRS method, which is the easier one, the government gives you anywhere from 55 to 58 cents per mile. I think tax year 2021 is 57 cents, something like that. For every mile you drive for legitimate business purposes. Under the new legislation, this will rarely be the better way to write off your vehicle expenses, but it is the easiest way, right? Hey, I'm going to meet a prospect at the local Starbucks. So I look at my odometer reading. Hey, this is the number. I'm going to drive to the local Starbucks. It's 7 miles from my house. We're going to meet, and I'm going to drive 7 miles there, and I'm going to drive 7 miles back. That's 14 business miles. Why? Because I want to take care of some legitimate business, right? And that 57 cents a mile, that 14-mile trip just saved me $8 on my taxes. Now imagine doing that for all of the trips that you take for business, right? All of the trips that you take for business. Then there's another method, which is the actual method, right? It is calculated just like its name implies. At the end of the year, simply calculate the total cost of driving your car. Then you multiply that sum by the percentage of the miles you drove for business compared to the total miles. So you got miles that you're just going to drive for you and your family and doing normal stuff. And then you got your miles that you drive for business. So the actual method says, how much did it cost me total to drive and operate my car, right? So your oil changes, your gas, your insurance, your repairs and maintenance, your tax and licensing, your washes and waxes, and other things that you're spending to maintain this car. How much was that? How much did that come to a total? And then you say, okay, well, that's the total number. I drove my car 50% of the time for business. Now you come up with the total tax deduction. Then when you get with your CPA, your tax professional, and they help you calculate in depreciation and all that stuff, it gets real, real crazy, right? What about meals and entertainment? You got to feed yourself, right? You got to feed yourself. So here's what it says. Sharing a meal with a prospect or a client can be a great way to grow your business. For centuries, people have used this technique. But did you know that many of your meals could be tax deductible? When Congress was debating the new tax law, they considered removing the deduction for meals and entertainment. It appears that meals are still deductible. However, entertainment is definitely not. That is one of the big changes. Think about it. Taking clients out to sports games, plays, golf, and other types of entertainment are no longer deductible, right? However, the great news is that meals with a prospect or client are still allowed. We believe, along with most large accounting firms like Ernst & Young, that the new law still allows 50% deduction of your meals, right? Are you sitting down and talking business, right? Now, here's what you need to know. How do you know if your meal qualifies? This subject can be confusing, so let's turn you into an expert right now. There are some simple rules to help you differentiate. You must have the appointment set up in advance, and whomever you are eating with must expect to talk about business. Well, Cortez, we have this wonderful tool called the internet, in which case I can send you a meeting invite and say, hey, I want to catch up with you and talk about this whatever, this business opportunity, this new product and service that I'm offering. And by the way, lunch is on me. Do you accept the invite? They accept the invite. You just documented the meal in advance and clearly stated that you're going to be discussing business. Calendar invite, calendar confirmation. Yes, it's a done deal. You must talk about business before, during, or after the meal. Interesting. We don't even have to say nothing about business during the meal. But if we both meet 15 minutes before we go sit down and eat, and we chop it up on that business subject that was in the email calendar invite, and then we have our meal and then go our separate ways, all I got to do is record the receipt. You must eat in a place that is easy to talk about business, right? The expense must be recorded soon after the meal. Not hard. It's not hard. What did you take out to eat? Or who did you take out to eat? Their full name. Where did you eat? Name of the restaurant. When did the expense occur? Date and time, date of the meal. Why should this be considered a business meal? Be specific. Hey, I talked to this person about the digital product Bootcamp and asked them if they wanted to turn their knowledge of this into a digital product, right? Be specific. What was the expense? It was a business meal. That's what it was. How much did the meal cost? Into the full amount, including the tip. It's not difficult, y'all. Does it take a little extra time? Absolutely. Absolutely. But is it worth it? You better believe it. You better believe it. So we got 3 more of these to get to. And in addition to that, I want to give you the 9 ways, for those of you who are already in business doing this, 9 ways to minimize your risk of an audit. But I've got to take a quick commercial break. And I want you guys to hear from the founder and the CEO of the company that I'm with as we are preparing to unleash an unreal addition to our financial education franchise. Man, listen, if you want to build a business in the financial education space, you better get with your boy, and here's why.
Hey guys, this is Brian Howe, CEO and co-founder of MWR Financial. I'm sending you this quick audio message to inform each of you that what you and thousands more already think is amazing is about to get 10 times better. Why? Because on April 17th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia, MWR Financial will be making several major announcements that will set a whole new standard for the home-based business industry. And if you don't believe it's possible, let me give you a little taste of what we will be rolling out at this game-changing event. To do this, let me ask you a quick question. What is and has always been the benchmark for building wealth? If you said real estate, you'd be correct. And believe it or not, MWR Financial is about to launch the most comprehensive real estate program ever developed, where our financial directors, buyers, sellers, realtors, lenders, and investors can all win in real estate together. This incredible program will give you and everyone you know the opportunity to buy, sell, flip, and invest in real estate with a team of financial experts that do the work for you. You heard me right. Whether our members want to buy a home, sell the one they have, or participate in the profits of flipping or investing in real estate, we are about to make it all possible. So why are we leaking this information early? Because good news travels fast, and we wanted to give you a head start so you can share this news with the people you know before anyone else does. With that said, let's go make history together. I want to thank you guys for your time, and I look forward to seeing each of you in Atlanta. Goodbye.
Hoo-wee! Done for you real estate? Are you kidding me? No, we ain't kidding, man. We are literally making wealth real for everybody. So if you're listening to these tax strategies and you're like, Cortez, I need a home-based business, you can partner with me in MWR Financial. Comment keyword real estate so I can get you some information after the show. So we're talking about the different tax breaks that are allotted to you if you decide to start a legitimate home-based business. So home office is number 3. Home office deduction, tax deduction, the quick and the dirty method. In January 2013, the IRS created a very simple way to claim a home office. You still have to qualify, which we'll discuss. But if you do qualify, then you get to deduct $5 per square foot for your home office. This method is capped at 300 square feet for a total deduction of $1,500. So in this example, if you have a room in your house and it's 12 by 12 in dimension, then you have 144 square feet. Multiply that by $5 per square foot, and that equals a $720 tax deduction. Now, remember, a deduction does not equal cash. In order to find out what the cash value of that deduction is, then you simply multiply the 720 by your tax bracket. In this case, the tax bracket is 35%. So 720 times 35% equals $252 in cash savings. There's another more profitable way to do this. So make sure you talk to your tax professional about how to do it. Now, let's give you the qualifications. How do you know that your home office qualifies? You have a clearly defined portion of the home that you use exclusively for business. Nothing goes on in this room in my house right now except business for me, right? That means you don't use it for anything else. You can't use your pool table for your desk in the rec room unless you never use the pool table except for your desk. It must be, this is number 2. It is your principal place of business. In other words, you do most of your administrative and management tasks from your home. This is my principal place. I do have office space on the other side of town where I go and shoot videos and I have meetings and that kind of stuff. But My day-to-day operation happens right here. Number 3, you work regularly out of your home office. This means you work 4 to 5 days a week for stretches of at least 45 minutes, an hour each time. It is very important that you work regularly on your business. The IRS doesn't like to see someone work 8 hours a day every couple of days. They can disallow your deductions and classify you as a hobby instead of a business, right? 4 to 5 hours a day. Number 4, we're talking about 7 tax deductions. Now, number 4, I'm going to give you the deduction, but we're not going to go into number 4 today. Why? Because I actually have a special guest that's going to come on Friday and really get into this one. So number 4 is to hire your kids and have them help you in your home-based business. It's number 4. So this Friday, I have my girl Martina Britt Yelverton coming on, and she's a branding strategist. She is a brand master. She can help you with your graphics, all your branding, your marketing, the whole 9 yards. And as she continued to build her business and branding and marketing, she brought her kids on board, and they help her with the designs, the flyers, all of that kind of stuff. And as a result, she has written this book, Hire Your Kids Legal Tax Hack, right? Man, when you talk about family business, this is the deal. You can pay your children up to $12,400 per year per child. That's $36,000 in the tax savings if you know how to do it properly. And she's going to talk about that on Friday. A couple of the other book ones, and then I'm going to go ahead and get to our 9 ways to reduce your chances of being audited. Deducting the tools of your trade, right? For me, I'm a digital marketer. So all of the softwares and the programs that I use to create my digital marketing imprint on this world, my laptops, my computers, all of that stuff is a tax deduction, right? Health insurance. A lot of times you're paying premiums and you have out-of-pocket costs like co-pays, deductibles, chiropractic visits, all of those things. How do you write those things off? Well, this guy talks about that extensively, right? But it's all around the says, how do you lower the cost of these expenses? It all comes down to a simple tax law. It is the law that could save you $5,000 or more in taxes, right? And that is the use of a health reimbursement arrangement, the HRA. The HRA allows you to write off a good portion of your health expenses. So example, James Christensen is married and has 3 kids. He makes about $100,000 a year with kids and braces and his wife's corrective eye surgery. He expects to spend $10,000 out of pocket. He would only be able to deduct $2,500 under the old law. But with the new law in the HRA plan, he would be able to deduct the entire $10,000. That would save him $3,500 in tax savings at a 35% tax bracket. Plus, he spends $1,200 per month in insurance premiums. With an HRA, he will be able to deduct an additional 15.3% of his premium cost, which equals $2,200. We ain't playing no games, man. We're trying to educate our people on how to get the best out of this tax code. So let's go through this really quickly. Number 7 tip is to have a good offense and defense against the IRS. Audit skyrocketing. IRS agents are no longer limited to in-person interviews. An agent can simply mail you a demand letter, and you are required to send them the documentation required for whatever they are asking for. So let's talk about 9 ways that you can limit the chances of being audited. Number 1, file your tax return electronically or send it in using registered mail or FedEx. So number 1, file electronically if you want to reduce your chances of an audit. Number 2, make sure the IRS has your correct address. right? If you move, fill out a IRS form 8822, change of address. Number 3, make sure your return is neat. If you're doing this business thing, it might not be a good idea for your sisters, brothers, cousin, uncle, nephew to do your taxes. You want everything to be in order. Number 4, report all of your income. Especially those of us who are in entrepreneurship, we're in network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, that kind of stuff. We'll make some money with a company, and that company is going to report our income. They're going to send us a 1099. Guess what? They're also going to send that to the IRS to say, hey, we paid H. Cortez $15,000. Now, if I don't report that, the IRS already has to report on their end. So you got to report all of your income. Have your return prepared by a competent tax preparer, right? My girl Yvette D. Best is not only competent, she's actually an enrolled agent with the IRS, and she takes extensive tax training. Break your income and large expenses into smaller segments, right? So if you have a large expense, it gives an example. For example, if you claim $25,000 of computer expenses, you will probably trigger an audit. However, if you attach an explanation that says, hey, this $25,000 was on computers for 30 new employees, it makes sense. Keep records of expert advice received. So when you have those consultations with your CPA, your tax professional, every 2 to 3 months, keep a record of that. If you rely on the advice of your accountant or lawyer, keep records of that, right? I forget what number we are, but it's don't lie, right? Be truthful, right? And then the next one is be careful of what you tell other people. Don't go around telling everybody about these tax deductions that you're getting and you making a grip. Why? Because they can actually report you to the IRS. Oh, I heard H. Cortez say he don't take business trips. He don't take vacations. He take business trips. All right, well, that's true. But somebody could report that to the IRS, and that could trigger an audit. Now, I've got my papers and stuff in order, but why go through that hassle if you do not have to? So, ladies and gentlemen, did you learn something today? I certainly hope you did, man. This is let's say, can you use a mailbox service as your business address instead of your home address? You can absolutely use that as your business address, but you want it on all of your paperwork, right? You want it on all of your paperwork, especially if you ultimately will end up pursuing business credit and business funding and things of that nature. So I apologize I didn't have time to get to your questions live. I will go back through and answer all the questions. Until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear.